Hello everyone, my name is Michael Knopf and thanks for joining me today. In today's session we'll be discussing some basic project structure, how to organize our projects in Windows Explorer, the actual folder and file structure, as well as using tools inside of Solution Explorer to make things a little bit easier as far as how they're laid out and why they're organized. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and open up Microsoft Visual Studio, and under the File menu we'll go ahead and choose New Project. In this case we're going to choose Other Project Types, and then we'll see at the very bottom here is Visual Studio Solutions. The only option today is Blank Solution, and we'll be targeting the .NET 4 framework. So for the purpose of this demo we're going to call it Basic Project Structure. And we'll hit OK. And what this does is it creates, just as much as you would think, a basic blank project solution file. And if we look at this in Windows Explorer, we'll actually see here basic project structure, and underneath that is the just a single SLN file and the solution options as well. So going back to Visual Studio, we will actually put together what are called solution folders to help us organize our projects. If we select the Add menu item, and then at the very bottom is Solution Folder, what these are containers, and we can use these to help us organize our project structures as far as they relate to the solution file and how they appear in Solution Explorer inside of Visual Studio. So the first item we typically would want to add would be some kind of business logic folder. And we'll add a couple more. Most projects involve some kind of data tier or data store, so we'll choose a data model here. And again, the common element inside of any project is a UI element, say the website or Silverlight projects or something like that. A common theme also is a series of web services, and hopefully you guys are doing unit testing, so what we'll do here is we'll add a solution folder that will hold our tests as well. Then what we can do is we select any of these solution folders and we'll actually add to them a new project, and in this case we're actually going to choose C# class library, and we're going to call this one Business Logic. But of course you could name it anything you wanted. Under the data model folder we're going to do the same exact thing. In this case it's going to be data model. Under services we'll add a web services project. So services application, we'll call it services. And under tests, we'll go ahead and add a test project. And since we may have more than one projects that target our application, I'm actually going to add a tests subfolder to the main project folder structure. And in here, we're going to target the business logic tier and test those specifically. And you can see a couple of items also get added by Visual Studio when we do that, and they're nicely organized underneath this solution folder. And inside the UI we're going to actually have a website, and what I'll choose here is a ASP.NET empty web application, and we'll call this website just for simplicity. And since we may have more than one UI project, I'm actually going to add a UI folder here as well. And we'll go ahead and add a Silverlight project there also. And I'm going to choose navigation application, and again for consistency we will select the UI folder, and we'll go ahead and keep the default name Silverlight application 1. And we're going to actually choose our website as the hosting container for that Silverlight project. Okay, so if we look at this inside of Windows Explorer, what we see here is a folder named It's the same as our project, basic project structure, or whatever yours was. And then we've got these nice folder structures underneath that. The UI, which holds our website and our Silverlight application. Our tests, which in this case holds just the business logic tests. We'll probably will have web service tests as well. Our data model project and our business logic project. One of my own conventions is to add a folder in Windows Explorer called Dependencies. And the purpose of this folder is to hold DLLs and other assemblies that are going to be referenced by our projects within our solution. So a common thing, say an Ajax control toolkit or third-party tools, items like that, that we want to be able to use across our applications within this solution. And what we don't want to do is specifically tie those to an installation. Say on our actual development machine, we've installed the Telerik suite of tools. We don't want to make a reference to that installation location, so program files, Telerik, and then whatever release that is. What we want to do is we actually want that to be associated directly within the project structure, and we'll go over why that's helpful in just a minute here. So some of the things that I do is I actually have a series of items, tools, and let's go ahead and grab these guys here, and I'll go back. Inside our dependencies folder, we'll go ahead and paste them inside there. So here we see the DLLs that we may reference from one or more of our projects in Visual Studio. And again, so that our Solution Explorer is consistent with the way that our projects are laid out inside of Windows, we're going to go ahead and add another solution folder here, and we're going to call it Dependencies. And then what we'll do is we'll right click on that and we're going to say Add Existing Item. We'll navigate to those DLLs that we've added there. We'll go ahead and click Add, and we see that they end up inside of the solution here. So rather than right clicking, say, on a project and adding a reference going out somewhere, so our program files or someplace like that, we're actually going to be able to navigate directly to that dependencies folder, and we're going to be able to select those DLLs and assemblies there. The advantage to this is that if we add this project to source control, which hopefully all of you are doing, these DLLs are going to end up inside of the source control system. Then the reference from our project, in this case our website, is going to be directly to these instances. So if someone a year, 2 years, 5 years from now pulls this project out of source control, they're going to be able to Control-Shift-B this project or build it. And they're not going to get a compilation error because they don't have the Telerik development tool suite installed. What that does is it eliminates the dependency on the developer's machine and allows us to have these DLLs, assemblies, say Silverlight zap files or whatever they are, move along with the project. Another advantage is, let's say this project were 2 years old previous to the .NET 4 framework being released, and this control toolkit DLL referenced a 2.0 framework. We would not have to go out and find that DLL out there on the web or on the production server environment and pull that thing down. We're already going to have a nice reference to it. We're going to have those DLLs associated with our project here, and they're going to live in source control along with the rest of the files that we need. So that makes things a lot easier for us. Let's just go ahead and build this project just to make sure everything worked for us, and we can see inside of it we've got our 6 projects built with no failures or anything skipped. Hope this has been helpful, and this was Michael Knopf. And keep coding.